that was not the result you were hoping for, but what have you taken from that match?
What I've taken is a baseline. There's one thing to be training and doing what we're doing and players executing what we're asking of them in a training session, and it's another to do it in a match, and a match with that context behind it. So I think I have a good baseline now to understand where we're at and some areas of work in order for us to progress to where we want to be.
The last kind of 20 minutes or so looked much brighter. Was it frustrating not to get that equaliser?
Well, I think you could tell by the fans there was frustration, but I think the key part that I take from that is that we had players that took on the information at halftime and made some adjustments to what we were doing and trying to do, and they did that well. And then together with the subs, who were a combination of experienced players and emerging players, they brought on the energy and had a real impact. So while it was frustrating not to get some reward from that impact and those changes, I know where we are now, and it's given me some ideas moving forward.
And just on Rachel Corsie, not the result that she would have been hoping for either for her last game at Hampden, but was that quite emotional at the end?
I'm sure for her there would have been a lot of emotion and having her friends and family there for sure. But what I know about Rachel is she's a real team person, and she'll be more hurt for the team that we didn't get the result that we all want. But she'll quickly refocus as a leader and professional that she is, and help the team to bounce back, because that's what we need to do now. We need to build on the things that we've progressed in and go forward again and make more improvements into the next match.
That baseline you spoke about, was it higher or lower than you expected?
Good question. I'm not sure, if I'm honest. I think I'll take it as it is. I think what we showed, especially in the second half, that in many ways, I think I'm looking at the final third entries from the possession we were able to have and the quality chances that we created, that we saw our potential and that we were the better team in many moments in that second half. But we all know international football, you have to be doing that consistently under pressure, using all the players that you have, because that's what it takes in tournament football to go deep, and that's the ambition of this team. And there's lots of information in my head right now.
What in particular do you want to see improved for the next game?
I want us to keep building and progressing on getting into the final third and taking those opportunities that we create from the final pass areas that we've worked on. And then defensively, I think it's as simple as our duels, that we win our duels individually and collectively. And if we step back when you've conceded 13 goals in the last 4 games, maybe there is a bit of a hangover from that, a bit of hesitancy. So taking confidence from when we were positioned well, we were aggressive in our pressing, that we won our duels and it created chances from there.
What did you learn about yourself, Melissa? That was obviously your first outing as a head coach of a national team out in your own right. What did you learn about yourself?
Good question. I think what I've learned, that I really believe in this group, and what it's going to take now is a lot of work, continue to work hard to find all the little bits, the little areas that I can help this team to realise their potential and go to another level. And I think that's the key thing, that the belief isn't down or shaken by the result at all, and I'm even more passionate about supporting this team to realise their goals.
Did you see enough of what you want your side to look like tonight?
I think in the second half I saw more of that ability to break lines, whether it's the first, second or last line, getting into good areas in the final third and create chances from there. And I think that's the positive part, and that's something we want to keep building on. And then with our defence as well, keep reinforcing the positioning that we want from our team in order to get into good areas to win our duels. And at the end of the day, often teams that win their duels and win more than the opponent go on to win games.
You're picking up a side that have suffered 6 defeats in a row, 7 without a win now. That is relegation confirmed. Is there some sort of comfort that can be taken out that is now dealt with and it can be parked? Can that be the sort of clean slate that's needed?
Yeah, I think me as a person, the past is the past now, and I'll always look forward and take those learnings and think about what we can do next and to improve ourselves. And that's what I've learned about this group, and something we both share is this deep commitment to being the best we can and willing to do whatever it takes to do that. So, you know, I think, like I said, the belief is still there, and it's just going to be a lot of hard work.
I was just going to say, Melissa, is belief the key for this squad? Because it looks as though there's maybe just a lack of confidence at points within them.
Yeah, like I said, I think when you're coming off the run that they've had, confidence often comes with results, but what we're going to focus on is the things that we can control, and there was effort. There were areas of our game that we did really well, and we're going to keep looking at those and how we can do them more often in key moments, and that will be what we try to do in our next game.
What is Tuesday night's game like now for you? Because obviously it's essentially meaningless when it comes to shaping the group and the relegation is confirmed, but how do you now approach that game in terms of what you want to get out of it?
To be honest, I'll challenge that one. I don't think it's never less meaningful to pull on your national team jersey. I think that's always important, and there's always something to play for, and there's competitions for spots now more than ever, and I think we've seen that with the lineups and game changes that came on, that they're fighting for spots and they have to keep their spots as well, and that game will be about that too. But also, because we're so committed to being the best that we can, is executing the areas that we identify we need to be better at, and doing that at another world-class national team. Like, it's a great opportunity for us to keep pushing ahead and looking forward to where we want to be.
Is it tough to kind of take on a squad who is in transition in this moment? Maybe a lot of senior players coming to the end points of their career, some new players coming in who don't have a lot of international experience at a point where you're looking at World Cup qualifiers, and there'll be all this noise around qualifying for a major tournament just because 3 have passed Scotland by.
Yeah, I think it's tough coming in anytime when you have a short lead in, and I think being in a position similar to this before, lots of noise, expectation to do well in a World Cup, I've experienced that, and I think what we'll focus on is inside the circle and what we can control and the work that we can do each day in training, at club, then in country, so that we can keep making the progression that we want to make, and that's what I'll just keep going back to, the things that I've done before and the things that I know that I can do each day as a coach and as a leader to support this team to move forward in the way that they want to.
You gave Kathleen and Mia the debuts tonight. What did you think of their performances, and how much do you think they have to offer? They're both very young players. How much do you think they have to offer Scotland going forward?
Yeah, I think we've seen what they can do at club, and then I think we saw glimpses of what they can do on the international stage tonight. I think both had an impact, and for McGovern starting in such a high pressure game, she held her own, and of course she'll want more. She's a forward, they want to score goals, and that's what she's used to, and I think Mia came on and made a real impact as well. But I think being so young, that's the promising thing, and that's the positive thing, and their willingness to take on the information and execute their player tasks for the team. I think based on what I saw, there's a lot to look forward to.
Goalkeeper is such an important position for a team. How heartened were you by the performance of your goalkeeper tonight?
Well, I think Lee made some big saves to keep the game competitive, and I think other than that corner that they scored from, that's a tough one to keep out when it's just coming off the head so quickly, so close to goal. But she also kept us in the game. She also activated our vertical game, which I think is an area we wanted to improve, not keeping possession for possession's sake, but actually breaking lines more often, and she was a part of that as well. So I think Lee had a good game.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.